What's up, everybody? I am back. Streaming a little early today because I want to get some reviews out the way because later on I'll be reacting live watching the Game Awards show. So I'm going to get some other content I was intended to do out the way early. So I'm going to cover a couple of movies today. One of them being another Hallmark Christmas movie called The Christmas Charade. Came out last year in 2024. And so I decided, okay, this is decent enough to be put on the list for next year. So next year is now. Like the video, leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys think. And are you like a Christmas Hallmark viewer and an avid viewer, or you watch occasionally? Let me know in the comments below. So, anyway, this movie stars Rachel Skarstein as Whitney, Corey Sevier as Josh, who I know I've seen him before. Golly. He was on The Immortals. I heard about it, I never watched it. Yeah, he's done quite a few Christmas rom-coms, so I might have seen him in one of those. I don't know. It's not, I know I've seen his face before, but I just cannot pull. My brain is just like, it's gnawing at me. It's like, God, where have I seen this guy before? I don't think it's a Christmas rom-com, but I might be mistaken. Grounded for Christmas, that was it, because I did review that. There it was. Like, yeah, I just had to go through his IMDb list. Like, Grounded for Christmas, he was the pilot. Yeah, because he's had this stupid brick phone. It was like, God, it was, sorry, it was physically killing me because it's like, golly, where was that? I've seen that guy before. Anyway, we got Cynthia Dale and Rob Stewart, who plays Jim and Cheryl, who is the parents of Whitney. Uh, uh, we had Josette George, who plays Rachel, best friends with Whitney. Kate Hewlett as Patty and Matt Wells as Lou or Lau. So it's one of those Hallmark mystery kind of things. So it's not like one of those like over the top romance things. Even though it's still an element in it, but it isn't like push you over the edge with it. So Whitney is a librarian to a school, and she is overly precautious. Her parents worked for a security company, or they had their own security company. So she kind of grew up extremely cautious. So she doesn't take much risk. This affected her dating life, where she is too like cautious about everything. That's why she doesn't like do dating apps, which nowadays, even yet last year, is was starting to be considered like, okay, smart not to mess around on a dating app. Some might do, some might bear fruit from it, but it does kind of rob the in real life person to person connection. And her friend, freaking name again? I'm not good with names. I'm good with faces. Rachel, who was like, "Oh, I met my guy and we're engaged," and it was off dating app, and I was like, it doesn't really count for women because, of course, you get thousands of matches every day, and you can just pick from whatever you want, and depending on the guy, you might get something from it. But those apps are designed for like top tier dudes to benefit from, and a large swath of women to, just sit in the cut and just, wait for the top tier dudes to like probably connect with them and probably not really gonna commit to those girls. So it's kind of like a big scam, which people little by little is picking up on. But she tried to set up a date for Whitney, which clearly this dude was a bit of a drip. But then we meet Josh, who is a FBI agent. And he is on his last legs trying to find this art thief or just thief. And he's getting close. He got feelers out, and lo and behold, there's this very precious necklace called the Christmas necklace, the Heart of Christmas, something like that. And it's like, and they take it out for charity purposes, every holiday season for like different museums. And it's like, do you have to name it like the Christmas blah blah blah? You could have just, literally, not like the Hope Diamond, but you don't call it the Hope Diamond the Valentine's Day Diamond. It's just like, you just call it, I don't know, it just seems like, I don't know, it's a nitpick, but it's like, God, it sounds so corny when you do it. It's like, I don't know, it seems like an afterthought. Just call it the Christmas necklace and call it a day, whatever. That's how much thought they put into it. So he suspect Lou being like the thief he's after, who keeps eluding capture, because nobody know who this thief is, because it manages to remain remains to remain to avoid capture. So nobody managed to see this person's face, but Josh feels like he's close. So he set up some kind of meet under the guise of trying to do business with Lou, meeting with Lou's wife. So he gets another female agent to meet him at a restaurant, which coincidentally is where Whitney's gonna be meeting this blind date. And because it's a mix-up, because both guys so happen to be wearing a green sweater, I don't know why neither one of them chose like a completely different. I mean, well, in terms of the movie, because we hear from Josh later, it's like it's Christmas holiday. It's like a lot of people wearing green sweaters, so it's like, well, I get it's for the story purposes, for being like a mix-up, but it's not the shade of the color that I'm like not bothered by, but it's just like, again, it's a holiday, but you didn't have to go with green. You could have just said like they're both wearing purple sweaters, so that way you still get the mix-up, but it isn't so hokey of. It's like the actor don't have to point out the fact like, oh, everybody's wearing a green sweater, so why is you wearing a green sweater? You don't even care for Christmas all that much because clearly he's kind of like a workaholic. He doesn't even decorate his own place. He doesn't even have any family, so he doesn't really like get involved. So it's supposed to give him his last chance of trying to catch this person. So because the female agent gets accosted by some killers that seem like they're holding her hostage, instead of moving the heck out of the way, they did this kind of thing in the Jim, not Jim Carrey's The Grinch, but Benedict Cumberbatch's animated Grinch, where he was trying to walk in Whoville to go to the store, and there's these carolers hounding him, which is funny to me. But it kind of reminds me of that, where she's trying to get to where she's going, and these carolers are just like in her face, and just not reading the room and letting her pass. In real life, if you're trying to get somewhere, because this is New York, mind you, because they're not really shooting in New York, more than likely it's probably somewhere else like Vancouver or something like that. But if it was real New York, this person will be quick to tell these people to get the heck out of our way. She's trying to go, because it's like, but no carolers that I've witnessed would, stop in the middle of the sidewalk in front of some random person to sing in their face and not let her pass. They're akin to street performers. You sit on the sidelines and while you singing or playing music. You don't interrupt people's foot traffic. That is rude. That you can liable to get in a fight very easily. It's just very dumb. But by the time she get there, Whitney already confused Joss with somebody else, and she's sitting down, but then quickly realized, I'm with a complete stranger, and I'm a little freaked out. But he tells her that he's an FBI agent. He's meeting with a potential jewel thief or art thief or whatever. And now that they saw her there, they're already under the impression that is his wife. So she's pretty much stuck, in this situation now. Lou's wife invited her to help set up the gala, where they will be coincidentally hosting or at least hosting this function where they show off the necklace for this whole charity event, and she asked her to help out, which she ended up reluctantly agreeing to. So Josh's boss said, like, okay, we got 3 days. Excuse me. We got 3 days to try to catch this guy if he is our guy. But we got no way to get in his inner circle freely. But thanks to Whitney, we actually got a way in. So Josh ends up working with her, teaching her how to be an effective agent, even though, except for like the whole fighting part, because apparently she got that down because her parents, put her in like martial arts as a little kid. So cool, fine. This is like a pretty decent montage, showing her how to text somebody without looking, all stuff that come into place, which is a mark of good writers. All that come into place, the training is not like an afterthought. You actually see it play out by the end. She, eventually came up with an idea of uh, 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 doing like a switcheroo. Now, I guess they couldn't. Well, they don't. I was about to say, I don't know why they couldn't just get some pull some strings with the FBI to try to uh, uh, swap out the without very much that many people knowing, swap it out the necklace for fakes and have the fake one with a tracker for the thief to steal. But I get it. It's a very like hush hush kind of scenario. We don't want word getting out about the switch or arouse suspicion. Uh, so Whitney knew this jeweler customizer person who can just somehow recreate this very expensive looking jeweled necklace with, of course, fake, stuff. It's a complete replica, which any real thief who's been at this stint, or apparently, according to the movie, been at this for a very long time, should be able to spot a fake before the thief get the grubby little hands on it. But we operate on the logic that this isn't a competent thief, where all signs point to the thief being competent. So that's how the thief never got caught before. It wasn't just a wink and a smile and luck. So while getting that set up, Whitney ends up bumping into Rachel, who then sees like, oh, you found yourself a man, even though you didn't have one a day ago. That's why I set you up with that dude who clearly was a loser. And you're already doing like holiday stuff with. And she then goes to blab to Whitney's mom. Don't know why you are that close to the mom where you can just call her up anytime you freaking want to. Whatever. So now the parents wants to meet Josh. Now, I'm getting ahead of myself. They go to after getting the fake necklace and inserting the tracker chip. They go to the warehouse where they're unloading all this expensive art displays for the gala. Josh sneaks inside to try to do the switcheroo. He ends up forcing an alarm to be tripped to distract the guards. Of course, Whitney doesn't know that. She gets worried, and hanging out with Josh, I guess, did have an effect on her because she is taking some risks by, going in a building that's got massive security with guards who somehow don't have weapons and are stupid. She ends up sneaking inside, and Josh pulled her up inside the air vents. She makes a Die Hard reference, which apparently he doesn't get because he never seen the movie. That always bugs me. Where like, oh, I'll say bugs me because we all got something that's clearly got like a movie or a TV show that's clearly popular, but we never sat down and seen it before. Because Josh never seen Die Hard before, so he doesn't get the reference that Whitney makes. I never seen The Wire or Breaking Bad. I acknowledge this is a popular show, but never really had an interest in sitting down and watching it. Nor The Sopranos. Everybody got that something. There was like a couple of young coworkers of mine that I'm pretty sure it was like a year ago. They talking about they never seen the Godfather films, and I was stunned by it because it's one of those things that was kind of like a culturally universal understood great thing. But I get it. I'm like, we all have something that never garner any interest in us, that we never bothered to see, but the rest of the population pretty much has seen, and in a unifying consensus acknowledge the quality of it. But anyway, she tries to do the switch while these three guards are just snacking on some Christmas cookies. And kind of this moment right here kind of make this feels like some kind of Disney, movie, Disney Channel movie kind of thing, because you got these idiot guards that are so clearly not doing their job and just easily distracted. When an alarm goes off, clearly they're in high alert, but they're not like, getting more guards to like stand by and watch, keeping their eyes on these things just to make sure there wasn't no kind of distraction or some kind of setup or something. Things will be on high alert, but then it gets on real high alert when somebody else trips the alarm, which will immediately force like a lockdown of the building. So that's why they couldn't make the switch real. And then she has to break it to them that, okay, you gotta meet my parents because they just invited themselves to my home to meet you. And they show up at a spot, playing charades and all this other stuff. And the father, who's acting like a true blue father, it's like, look, I love my daughter, I'm kind of overprotective, but if this is not like a true thing, be a man, do the right thing, and leave her alone. And I like the fact that Josh is like, hey, I respect that. My intention is not to hurt her at all, because he ended up spending more time with her and, appreciating the benefits of family because he doesn't have any. And the work has always been pretty much his life. It's a kind of typical like loner meets with a person who's all about family and kind of end up, it's infectious. It's corny and hacky and cliche. There is some merit to it because if you're either not close with your own family or you're, not, I was about to say orphan, but very rarely you get somebody who doesn't have any family at all, unless you're the freaking Punisher or something like that. You gotta have like some number of family members, even if you like adopted, and you're probably not close with the adopted parents, but I don't know, it's just like not have nobody is very rare in that point in your life. But anyway, he's it gets very affectionate that you seem like an actual family, in camaraderie and joyfulness, and it's just like, even though they might bicker, but there's love behind it, and it's something that on the outside looking in, it's kind of like, oh, this is kind of nice. It's kind of like people who don't have any brothers or sisters, they're only child, and watching somebody else, like a significant other, who have like a bunch of sisters and brothers, and they bicker, and there's history behind them and all this other stuff. It kind of makes you look like, dang, I kind of wish I had like a brother or sister I can bicker to and tease and all this other stuff. It's kind of like that. So they decide, okay, we gotta do the switch in the gala. And of course, just like the poster, there's gotta be some kind of dance, because she mentioned she used to be like a ballroom dancer, and of course she's killing it. It seems like she mentioned it's a partial lie, but as she got older, she couldn't like keep it up, but she still got it. But then her parents shows up, uh, and somehow got an invite to this thing. Then all hell breaks loose. The necklace was clearly a fake. Gets taken. Well, no, I don't know if they actually made the switch. Pretty sure they did. But the necklace gets stolen. No, they couldn't make the switch. The necklace gets stolen. Uh, they see somebody running. Josh and Winnie, go to the roof and kind of, circles back to the beginning of the film where she's watching a spy movie where the handsome spy with the hot leading lady is like zip lining off a roof to escape some bad guys. It's kind of like a role reversal here, where they chase this guy to the roof and stop him, but it was a complete distraction. They end up seeing when his parents getting kidnapped by some thieves, or at least some goons. They end up chasing the car down, and once they appear inside, the parents completely knocked out these goons that are clearly twice their size and outnumbered. And it's revealed that they used to be FBI agents back in the past that after they got married and had like a child, they decided to retire and start up their security company so they can have normal lives raising their daughter. But because that's how they got the strings pulled to figure out who Josh really is. And looking back on it, there's clear little signs or little cues you can tell that, or lingo that you can tell, like they have some kind of ways of figuring stuff out, or just certain mannerisms. Like, okay, clearly they have some kind of knowledge in this kind of world. They're the ones that did the swap. They end up, having somebody track it, the tracker down. And clearly the museum curator is involved, but I don't know how he's involved. Winnie's upset that, oh, you lied to me all my life. And it's like, I don't know. Some people might disagree, but it's just that if you found out your parents was FBI agents, you're a grown woman, you're not a teenager. I probably expect like maybe like a teenage girl to have this kind of behavior, but not a fully grown woman who, because like honestly, most people's reactions will be like a straight up like bragging, pretty much. It's like, oh, my parents were like spies. That's pretty dope. And you will also be old enough to understand, because there's FBI agents who tell this kind of story because they live that life. And it's like, yeah, there's very little people, because it isn't like a full-blown secret that they keep even from their own families. Like their wives don't tell their wives or their husbands about what they like do for a living. Like, no, like a seasoned FBI agent who do often probably have to be undercover and all that stuff. It's like, will tell you, yeah, your spouse is your biggest asset. You feel like a honest and true person that you're sharing your life with, you will want them in the know, so that way they can have a extra backup when you're off somewhere. They're back at home holding down the fort, and they can keep things tight knit. The second biggest asset is probably your children, but you don't let them know until they're old enough to understand. The problem with this movie is they, just to manufacture some drama, the parents should have told this girl probably at the very least when she was 18, maybe 21, 22 at the most, so she's old enough to understand you got to keep this tight knit. Don't go blab to your friends, or anything like that. It's just like, no, it's like I need like secure circle here, and so that way there's added cushion of backup for you when you're off somewhere else. But they didn't keep the girl in the loop. I would be, the only thing I would say is like, yeah, they should have told her, at the very least when she was in her late teens, early 20s, where she's old enough to grasp the situation. Because sure, you might retire when she was a baby, but at some point down the line, you could have told her about your life. It's clearly you're not involved in that life anymore, so the whole danger aspect is like completely, nullified. Josh goes in to talking to her, try to cool things down. She is in her feelings, so she bites off his head, talking about like, you don't understand because you don't have no family. And it's like clearly she catching herself. But he just like, I'll send somebody to take you home. I'm glad there's no big blowout argument. There's no back and forth, because a smart stoic man, which I'm glad they usually depict in these type of films, it's like, I don't need to go back and forth with you. There's, I don't need to have a big old cry or what, like he has feelings. He's not a robot, but it's like, all right, fine, I'm gonna let you. You got it. I'm not gonna go back and forth with you. I'm gonna have somebody send you a ride to take you home. I'll see you. She then puts two and two together. It's like, wait a minute, because there's another painting. This painting with this woman with the red flowers. That's gone missing. But then she started putting two and two together. It wasn't Lou who was the thief that Josh was thinking it was. It turns out it was his wife who was the mastermind and working with the curator in order to abscond with priceless artifacts. That's why she was so easily able to make off with these artifacts over the years. She's technically has like an inside guy. Whitney goes to her house to try to appeal to her, sensibilities. But she ended up recording the dialogue and had a tracker on her. So Josh and the FBI agents burst in and arrested the wife. On Christmas, the parents show up to apologize, which they, in my opinion, don't got nothing to apologize for. It was the freaking job. The only knock I give them is the fact that they should have, definitely like understood they got to eventually tell her, and don't think you can just avoid talking to it at all. So it's kind of like, look, I'm not sorry for keeping it from you because I'm going to have to keep things from you because it's, but they should have had a general date when they felt comfortable and feel like it's secure and safe to let her know what was what. You made it seem like you can easily avoid an entire thing altogether without her being none the wiser. Which, if it wasn't for this whole situation with Josh and the jewel thief and all this other stuff, that probably would have been the case. But they were also like, I guess because of their knowledge of the world, given their profession, they ended up teaching their daughter to be too cautious about everything and not taking any risks, because not taking any risk is like, not good for you because it makes you too timid. It makes you too scared to try anything that might be beneficial to you because you're only thinking about what could go wrong without acknowledging there are pluses to taking this risk that could bear fruit. You know, you gotta walk that line as a human being every day. But they end up making up. Just comes to see them, and he, has been smitten with her through this entire adventure, and they end up dating for real. And that was the Christmas Charade. It's a fine film. Yeah. Aside from those nitpicks I had about it, the premise is pretty solid. I like Josh a lot in this. Whitney, she's alright, but clearly at the start of the film they try to uglify this woman up, like make her homely. Oh, because that was hot. She's a librarian. You couldn't even make her a hot librarian. You gotta do this whole thing. And not even with, it's not Hallmark movies. This is most movies in general. They gotta like uglify this, woman. It's kind of like the Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman thing earlier in Batman Begins. Not Batman Begins. Batman Returns. She's like all disheveled and got these grandma glasses. It's like clearly like not appealing at all. Well, it's Michelle Pfeiffer. She's still appealing. But I'm just saying, like, they gotta do this little thing to make her look homely. But then, because she's always got this hair tightened up in this little bun thing. And it's like, you gotta let this girl hair down. Even the girlfriend, her friend, talking about, like, let your hair down. We get no hair down from this chick. Because, I don't know. She's like nothing but face and forehead. There's no knock against the actress. I'm just saying, it's like, oh my God. It's like, let the hair down. Let it flow. Let the air blow through it and stuff like that. She's a gorgeous woman. But it's just like, God. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. They could have done something with the look as... Sure, she started wearing more, flattering dresses. Not skimpy, but leaving things to imagination, but showing off the beauty. But it's the hair. I think it's the hair primarily is what's tripping me up. It's like, let your hair down, lady. But anyway, yeah, like Josh was kind of like the breakout character for me personally. Everybody else, did a okay job. I don't want to say there's anybody with like weak links. Maybe the goons and the security guards in this film are like the weakest links to me, because like none of them are competent, or none of them doing their jobs, or they get taken out too easily, even though they're twice a lot of these people's sizes. It's so stupid. And why do not they have guns? I understand this is a Hallmark movie, but you're playing security and bodyguards. You gotta have a service weapon on you. And matter of fact, I don't recall any of the FBI agents I see carrying service weapons at all. And again, it's a Hallmark movie. Maybe they didn't want to depict firearms in this type of things because it's like a family type of channel. But come on, I don't know. It is. But anyway, that was the Christmas Charade. It is worth a watch. I don't hate it, but there's certain choices that I would not have made, and there's certain incompetences that I can't help but see. It's kind of like, not super in your face, but if it catches you, you can't unsee it. But anyway, I want to start including some holiday cartoon movies that I grew up watching, kind of like holiday specials. And the one I chose this year is a Flintstones Christmas Carol. And I remember it's probably my favorite Flintstones because they did like at least another Flintstones Christmas movie, but it isn't, in my opinion, isn't as good as this. Maybe it's because I love the Christmas Carol type of stories. It's one of my favorite Charles Dickens stories. It's like really up there for me. But yeah, and there's more kind of like cartoon specials that I can definitely fall in the category of a movie because it's still technically a movie, even though you call it a special. Anyway, leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys think, and I will see you all later. Peace.